going on, guys? It's your boy Matt St. Jack. Whether you're an avid anime fan, a wee tadpole still finding your way, or anywhere in between, I'll be providing my opinions and insights on anime old and new. Think Yelp with help from friends and producers from other shows weighing in. I know you can't wait to hear, and I can't wait to tell, so let's get to it. This is Matt St. Jack with Anime Talk. Let's go.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And I'm Bo Maddox.
And this is the Collateral Cinema Holiday Special. Happy holidays and welcome to Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We're podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast, so whatever you have, be it bongs, blunts, or joints, smoke it if you've got it. And Merry Christmas to all of those that celebrate. Happy holidays or whatever else you celebrate.
Ho,
right,
ho,
Bo?
Ho, 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 bitches.
Ho, 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 bitches.
Yeah, it's good to be here for another holiday episode. But unfortunately, our holiday tradition of having the abyss gazing and victims and villains guys kind of fell through this time, unfortunately. So
yeah, due to some scheduling conflicts and personal stuff, I believe, we weren't able to make that work. And that's sad because I was looking forward to talking about this with Josh and the other guys.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that maybe what we might need to do is maybe invite them on a later episode this season, maybe just to make up for it, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, Josh and everybody involved in Victims and Villains, if you're hearing this, I mean, you're more than welcome to pick another episode and come back on the show.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah.
But tonight we are talking about a movie that I've actually been anticipating ever since I found out it was happening. And that is the 2025 Silent Night, Deadly Night remake from Mike P. Nelson. This stars Rohan Campbell, the kid from Halloween Ends. But I didn't know this was happening until maybe a couple months ago. And I was like, oh shit, they're doing a Silent Night, Deadly Night remake? Okay.
And initially I didn't intend that to be the movie that we featured on this particular holiday episode. I actually wanted to do a Karate Christmas Miracle, but honestly, we couldn't pass up a new Silent Night, Deadly Night movie, especially a remake as interesting as this one.
No, we couldn't. And we covered the original Silent Night, Deadly Night with Victims and Villains. So kind of sad that we didn't get a chance to re-explore that with them. But man, I actually went ahead and rewatched. I rewatched the original and I watched all of the sequels. And I watched the 2012 remake as well. I watched the entire franchise before this in preparation. The original is a classic, obviously. The second one is iconic for entirely different reasons, but I mean,
garbage day,
yeah. And the other ones were kind of a fever dream. They're kind of a blur. I know Clint Howard is in 4 and 5, and that's probably the best part about those movies.
And randomly, Mickey Rooney is in, I believe, the 5th one, which is funny because he completely trashed the original Silent Night, Deadly Night as complete, garbage. So.
Yes.
So yeah, that was interesting. It's like, oh, okay, so you'll take your paycheck for this movie after trashing the original one.
Yeah, he had his garbage day.
He had his garbage day, exactly.
But yeah, okay, so a new Silent Night, Deadly Night. We had a loose remake in 2012 that, kind of hardly even resembles the original film. But
yeah, seriously, I watched that with Robert, and I mean, I thought that it was okay, but, it just didn't really have that Silent Night, Deadly Night charm to it.
Yeah, and even the sequels that didn't feature Billy or Ricky, I mean, still kind of continued that charm. Like they felt like Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, and I think this movie kind of has the best of all of them, honestly.
Seriously. What's interesting about this is that they have the actual original story beats from Silent Night, Deadly Night in here. It has the bones of that. But the way that they actually go with the overall premise and the plot and everything and what it actually leads to is actually very compelling.
It's bold and it works surprisingly well. I'm actually surprised how good this movie is. I think it's better than it had any right to be. I think it's just considering how well horror remakes go in general. But I'd consider this a step above whatever the fuck David Gordon Green was doing with Halloween.
Oh, seriously. Which, incidentally, we have Rowan Campbell from Halloween Ends.
Corey Cunningham himself.
Good old Corey Cunningham himself. Everybody's favorite character.
You know what's interesting is, none of what was bad about Halloween Ends came down to his performance. I just think that character just didn't need to exist. I don't know why he was there, but
either he didn't need to exist or his story needed to be the second movie in that trilogy.
You brought that up earlier,
yeah.
And that actually that would have worked so much better with Ends being like the more like brutal Michael Myers goes overboard, but. Tangent here. Okay.
Yeah. Whole nother conversation.
That's a whole other conversation for another Halloween. But for this one, we have Rowan Campbell playing actually, honestly, a pretty similar character to the one he was playing in Halloween Ends, but utilized so much more effectively. And I honestly felt like his performance and his chemistry with the lead actress, Ruby Bodine, was honestly superb.
Absolutely. I mean, this his version of Billy, it's very similar to what Corey Cunningham was, but he's more likable here.
Yeah, he's a much more likable and empathetic character than even the character was in the original. And I don't want to say too much, but it's like, okay, like you mentioned it earlier. The premise to this is nearly identical to the original. I thought at first, within the first 15 minutes, I thought maybe we were getting a 1-for-1 remake, but modern from the studio that brought you Terrifier 3. So gorier and, great effects and shit. And that's what I thought I was getting, because we have almost an identical setup. I mean, he goes to visit the grandpa. It's kind of traumatic. And then we have the car scene. And I really don't even want to say too much more than that. But by the time you get to, like the second half of the movie, we start actually seeing how different it really is. All I'm going to say about it is that, and this might be giving too much away, but I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free. But he's essentially, this version of Billy is like Dexter meets Venom.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I think since he's pretty much a character in the movie, we can talk about the main. We could probably talk about the main thing that's going on with Billy, right?
Charlie,
yeah. It's like, I mean, he has a voice talking to him named Charlie. That's like the one closest thing to a spoiler that we're going to give here.
Yeah.
But that's important because Charlie is his own character that has his own seemingly unique motivations and actually tries to push Billy to be to not be a complete psychopath.
Yeah. Charlie was as interesting a character as any, and his dynamic with Billy is honestly, integral to the film, but it's something I can't talk too much about without giving away the movie entirely. But also, just Billy's motivation and his role as a serial killer in this one is just so different. And instead of just, one night going berserk or whatever, he's got this whole like advent calendar system, which was kind of cool. I liked that.
Yeah, that was an interesting little motif, the advent calendar, still sticking to the Christmas imagery and everything. Advent calendars are very much a Christmas type of thing,
Exactly.
Like we all had back in the day the Sprite Santa beard advent calendar where you like glued or taped a cotton ball onto each day counting on down to Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's like that is a very essential Christmas thing, and to see it utilized in his own unique way is actually really refreshing to see.
Yeah.
Really interesting to see.
It was really, really cool. And I jived with this character so much more than I thought he would. I mentioned it earlier, but his chemistry with the female lead was really good. Pamela. I mean, she's an interesting character in her own right. You mentioned before that her disposition almost sort of telegraphs what's going to happen in this film.
It does, and we're not going to go too deep into it, but I mean, other than that, she does have a little bit of a mean streak.
Yeah.
Or a psycho streak herself, and that's the most we'll get into that. But, I mean, it does kind of, like I said, it helps to kind of give you a little bit of an idea as to where they're going to go with it, like when you actually take other parts of the movie into consideration.
Yeah, and this movie goes into a whole other direction. I wasn't quite sure how I felt about the plot 3 act reveal until I figured out what they were doing with it by the end, and then I was like, okay, I'm on board. I like this. I like that they're doing something different, because like I said, the setup is very similar, but you start to realize that this is good. They're taking this in a whole different direction. And honestly, that's kind of what you want out of a slasher remake, rather than just doing the same thing beat for beat, but, just better quality with a higher budget. Let's actually try to make our own story here. And I respect the fuck out of that.
Now, to be fair, that doesn't always work out all that well. A good example of that is Rob Zombie's Halloween. I mean, he tried to do something very radically different with Michael Myers and everything, but that led to decreasing dividends there or payoffs.
But that's because Michael Myers is a character that works because of very specific things.
Yeah.
And he's so culturally ingrained in the public consciousness, whereas Billy Chapman is a character that you can kind of go in a few different directions with. Really, the core needs to be is that his family was murdered on Christmas Eve, and that led to him becoming a Santa killer. Everything else from there, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you get from point A to point B, and where you go from there? You can really evolve, and this movie shows that,
Absolutely. But I mean, I think the best thing that they did was not make this nearly as mean-spirited a story, or even make Billy as mean-spirited a character as they could have here.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Okay, this movie was marketed as from the studio that brought you Terrifier 3, another Christmas slasher. That is a very mean-spirited film. I mean, we're talking about killing kids and shit. We covered it for our last holiday special, and it's just it's torture porn. That's what it is. This is not that. So if you come into this expecting that, I'm kind of curious to see what the general public is going to think about this. I haven't seen this film getting a whole lot of coverage. There weren't a whole lot of people in my theater locally to go see this, but and I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about it, but I'm curious to see how the general public reacts to this, and also how the Silent Night, Deadly Night fans react to this because of how different it is. But yeah, going back to that, like you mentioned, Bo, I mean, it's not a gore fest like Terrifier 3, and that's what you might come to expect. It's brutal. And we do get to see a very, very satisfying scene where Billy has an excuse to brutally murder a lot of people, and it's my favorite scene in the film.
Absolutely. If you've seen it, you know what it is, y'all. You know what we're talking about, and it is just as satisfying as you think it is.
And it's set up so well.
It is, yeah. The way that it's actually revealed is actually very well done. I mean, you think that it's one type of situation, but then you see the reveal, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right, okay, now he has a reason to do this.
Yeah.
But and then when you actually find out, why he's doing what he's doing, it makes perfect sense.
It does, and that's why this film is not as mean-spirited as it is honest, actually has kind of a wholesome message to it in a way. And, and it's not torture porn. It's not an over-the-top gore fest, but it does include several iconic kills, callback kills to the original. Tons of callbacks to the franchise, even to a very, very mimetic scene.
Yes. Garbage Day.
Okay, there's a Garbage Day
There is
reference.
a Garbage Day reference. We will go ahead and drop that. There is at least one. You'll know it when you hear it.
I was expecting there to be one, so I was just happy it was there. But yeah, and then there are quite a few iconic callback scenes. Some of those are featured in the trailer, I know.
Yes.
That are just direct homages to the original. But the way that they're recontextualized here, I felt was really, really interesting.
Yes, I mean, if you know the iconic kills of the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, I mean, there's a decapitation scene. There's a scene where there's the immortal Linnea Quigley scene, up on the antlers that even even Diana Prince, Darcy the Mail Girl, and one of the last drive-in Christmas specials kind of recreated in a promo.
Yeah.
To full effect. But I mean, yeah, they put it in a different context, and it actually, it makes sense as to why he did what he did.
Yes.
But it still has that iconic moment there. But it's just completely different than what Linnea Quigley's scene was.
Right. And I heard a couple reviewers kind of comment on the fact that this film didn't go as out as they should, as it could have, but I don't feel that it really needed to.
No.
And even redoing those same kill scenes, I felt like was good enough because like I've seen enough creative Christmas kills, okay?
Yeah.
I'm okay with just redoing some really good ones and again, recontextualizing them.
Yeah. By this point, I mean, Christmas horror is its own particular subgenre of horror, no matter what framework you do it, whether it's like exploitation, slasher, torture porn, whatever. It's like this movie is what it is and is what it needs to be. In the gore department, in the kill department, with the characters and everything, it's exactly what it needs to be for the story.
Yeah. And what time isn't spent on torture porn is actually spent on things like character development.
Absolutely.
And it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, especially the relationship between Billy and Pammy, and how that kind of builds up over time, and what that leads to. So yeah, I mean, it's really, really, really interesting how this script went about telling the story in and of itself.
And funny how similar that is to Corey's story at Halloween Ends 2 and him having the romance that he does, but I felt like this was so much better than that. It doesn't feel forced. It, like I said, the chemistry actually shines through. They work together. The character that they're writing with Pamela was really interesting. It's like I've met girls like that. I mean, she's kind of like your classic BPD girl. I've dated a few of them.
Yeah.
She makes a joke about her dad saying she has EPD. I'm like, no, girl, you just have BPD.
Exactly. No, that's what that is. And I mean, there's a lot of other interesting characters that in the end kind of tie together, once we actually get to the end reveal of what happening. Because I mean, there's some other things going on in here. Like, for instance, there's another serial killer that's at work here.
A child snatcher.
A child snatcher.
Yeah, there's a child snatcher that's going around and that keeps getting dropped on you, but you don't really see how that relates to the overall plot until the end, until everything comes together. And a lot of it is kind of telegraphed, but that's okay.
Exactly.
I think that there is kind of a merit to dropping something on an audience that's just subtle enough for them to pick up on it, but not come across as being too overt, and then making your audience feel kind of clever for it.
Absolutely.
You know, but yeah, I mean, a lot of it you kind of see coming, and that's okay. That's the point. I mean, some of it is even kind of shown to us, the audience, but Billy doesn't notice.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you're kind of just seeing these things come together, but it comes together, I think, really interestingly. The kills are really good and really fun. And, like I said, the writing and the characters are good. I've watched this a couple times now. There's a little bit more to get from it once you understand everything from the beginning, I think.
Exactly. And I just want to go ahead and talk about the actual presentation of the movie itself, like especially from the cinematography and everything. Like, honestly, I like how they really like make you hyped up for every single scene, because they literally have title cards that come up before every kill scene.
Yeah.
They have title cards that come up, and it's done in a font that's like very reminiscent of the late 70s and early 80s. So, I mean, you kind of get that feel that it's like an old Grindhouse movie, kind of, just like Silent Night, Deadly Night was.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's some shots in this movie that were actually pretty well done for what it was, like especially that one scene, the one scene we were talking about, the way that it's choreographed and the way that it's shot and everything. It's actually framed really well, and you can actually see what's going on for the most part, while it's still very chaotic.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But I mean, but also just the way that they actually like hype him up whenever he's like, there's scenes that show him actually suiting up in the Santa suit with a dark background that's really interesting. It's almost like that's how he sees himself when he's suiting up to do what he's doing. You know,
he's just putting a super suit on.
he's putting he's putting his super suit on, and he's getting into Killer Santa mode, and it's very entertaining to see because it feels like you just kind of get into Billy's head there a little bit.
And they actually it's funny that you bring it up too, because I mean they really actually kind of take that in an interesting direction, and there's a really fascinating scene that they take that concept with. But again, it's hard to talk about it
without spoiling completely. Exactly.
But and even the way that this film is edited, the way that the story was told was really good. I mean, we start off with the flashback scene, and we keep flashing back to it until we get more and more of it until that Act 3 plot reveal.
That's what's cool is that the Billy's origin it's pretty much there, like almost beat for beat from the original movie, but it's broken up and it's given to you in pieces, you know. And there's just subtle differences, especially with the main conceit of the movie, that just kind of brings it into a different light and everything. So.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I thought that was really cool how we got that, just sort of peppered in, and then ultimately where that actually diverges and where the movie ultimately goes in a completely different direction.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and even like the colors and stuff. I mean, obviously there's a lot of red. They use that for those kill title cards, but they also use it for some of these scenes where we're I can't really talk about it.
They give the color grading that nice, warm kind of almost analog feeling Christmas vibe, if you know what I mean. You know, it's like it almost has a warmth, like it was actually shot on like 16 millimeter film or something like that. It kind of has that vibe to it, and everything. So like anytime you see anything Christmassy in this movie, like it's very colorful, very bright. It really actually does evoke the Christmas season in a very unique way, kind of similar to how Terrifier 3 did.
Yeah,
because Terrifier 3 had that real throwback to how Christmas kind of felt like in the 80s and the 90s and everything.
True.
I mean, just the way that Christmas was presented, and it was kind of a throwback, and they kind of do something similar here,
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it's more in like a small town context.
Yeah, we have like the small town of Hackett. Billy in this one is kind of a wanderer. He's a character that goes from town to town and does his thing, and he's got a whole thing. He's got like a whole closet full of Santa suits that he orders, and
yeah, and I'd have to imagine that it's quite easy to keep that stocked, especially around this time of year.
Yeah.
In 1984, one film shocked audiences, was banned from theaters, and traumatized a generation. From the studio that brought you Terrifier 3 comes a new and unrated vision of the cult classic. This Christmas, spread the holiday fear. Silent Night, Deadly Night.
But Billy has some interesting character dynamics, because ultimately at the end of the day, here's someone who was deprived of a life where he got to settle down and fall in love, and these are things that everyone at their core longs for. And then so I thought it was interesting how that was kind of placed at that.
But it's also interesting, like you go back to his relationship with Charlie, and how Charlie is kind of a little bit of an internal support system for him. Charlie does kind of support him a little bit, and even trying to be frank with him sometimes. He's just like, Billy, that this is going to happen, right? What's going to happen here, right?
Right.
So he's almost kind of a conscience for him.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you kind of think this is just like the killer voice that tells him to kill, but there's a whole motivation behind that.
There's almost a humanity to Charlie, kind of.
There is. And at the end of the day, I mean, he's looking out for him. It's kind of like the relationship between Naruto and Kurama.
Yeah.
You knew that Kurama was trying to take over Naruto's body and shit, but at the end of the day, it's like he wanted what was best for him, and he wanted to keep him out of trouble. And
exactly. It has that very similar dynamic.
Although this is much more wholesome than that was initially.
Yeah, that's the other thing is it does kind of get weirdly wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like almost like Charlie's a father figure in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. So, God, it's hard to talk about this film without
I know,
getting into
I know,
the
man.
meat
There's
of it.
there's so much I would love to kind of dive into here, but
Yeah, there's just so many new interesting ideas that they're doing with this. I don't know much else about Mike P. Nelson. I don't even think he has a Wikipedia article.
yeah. I don't know. But he did a hell of a job actually bringing this movie to life, and he actually really worked well with the script and everything, and kind of built it up. Now, some people might say that it takes a little while for the movie to kind of get into full gear, and actually grab you in a way that makes you want to become engaged with it. But I mean, I didn't feel that though.
I can see why people might think that.
Yeah, I felt actually engaged with it most all throughout the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I could see why people might think that, but I myself felt engaged by it, and I was hooked from the beginning. And I think that it helps that, for instance, like we got those little pieces of flashback throughout. We got the advent calendar, and like we get all these interesting things. We get the Venom voice in the head, and so I'm like, okay,
yeah, there's adequate build up to the script and everything. And Michael P. Nelson actually worked well with it.
Yeah, honestly. And it felt like somebody who watched the original and liked what worked with that, but also was a fan of some of the more fun stuff that this franchise had to bring, and still managed to incorporate that into this while being a more grounded film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a remake a few years ago of Silent. It was just called Silent Night.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, but we can talk about that a little more, because I mean, it's really such a fundamentally different movie.
Yeah,
it's really more exploitative, I would say, and because of that, it doesn't really work all that well. It just feels like a very generic Santa stalker. Santa killer movie.
Yeah, it's like they just took the concept of, let's have a Santa killer, which I mean that's important to Silent Night, Deadly Night, sure, but let's get more exploitative with it again, and kind of what I thought maybe this film might do, while being a little bit more faithful to the original premise. But I mean, this is kind of the opposite. It's not exploitative.
No, and that's absolutely what works to its benefit. If it would have been as exploitative as people really thought that it was going to be, I don't think that this movie would have really landed as well. I don't think it would have resonated with me as well as it did.
Well, and it kind of goes back to what made the original Silent Night, Deadly Night work. And, well, that's a film with flaws for sure. It's a cult classic for a reason, and I think it's because it balances the slasher, the slasher aspects and the brutal kills with, actual story and character development. I mean, we spend quite a bit of time actually just getting into Billy's motivations and what leads him to snap one day on Christmas.
Yeah.
This film does a similar thing, but goes in a completely different direction with it. We don't spend quite so much time, focusing on how we got there, but rather we actually kind of are always in his shoes throughout the film.
Yeah, I mean, when the movie opens, I mean, we already see that Billy has already killed.
Yeah.
He's. I mean, it just goes ahead and just establishes that right out of the gate. Whereas in the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, Billy was at least trying to live a normal life and have the job at the toy store and everything, and trying to be a part of society, but he just can't. And one day when he's forced to wear a Santa suit, he snaps.
It's a film that's definitely built up more in that way. Whereas in this one, it's like, okay, we get the origin briefly, but it gets cut off, and then we immediately see, okay, he's already a killer. And that's I think where the first difference in the film comes, is like once we catch up to the present and we see, okay, no, Billy's already a killer, but he's a very different kind of killer. And that's what's really interesting about this.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you kind of get behind him in his role, and that's why it was a good idea to make him the actual protagonist of this movie, not just an antagonist. He's, I wouldn't even say he's a villain protagonist either. He's just a protagonist here.
Yeah, more of an anti-hero than a villain protagonist. And even one who, may God forbid, have some relatable aspects to some people.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we don't go around killing people, but it's like there's some things that he does, and you're like, okay, I get that.
Yeah, he is a very socially awkward kind of guy. You know, it's like, I mean, even in the way that he was trying to approach talking to Pammy.
And I mean, and imagine yourself in his shoes with the childhood trauma that he had, and wonder, how different you'd turn out. But yeah, I mean, it's fun and it's interesting, and I really liked. I enjoyed being in Billy's shoes. I enjoyed seeing things from his perspective at all times. I felt that he was a more empathetic protagonist as a result.
Yes, definitely.
In a lot of ways, and then that was to his benefit. I mean, it's again taking essentially the same archetype as the character he played in Halloween Ends, but just, recontextualized, and it's so much better. It's like, this is how you use this guy. And
also it made I think it also kind of redeemed the actor for his Corey Cunningham role and everything, which wasn't his fault that didn't work. But it's like, this makes me actually want to see what Rowan Campbell has going for him in future movies.
100%.
I want to see him actually take some similar roles, man. Like maybe even put him in a good supernatural horror film and see how he works as a lead in that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So yeah, no, he actually showed a little bit more potential here than he did in Halloween Ends.
And I know somebody watched Halloween Ends and was like, okay, this is the guy I want to play Billy. Somebody saw that performance and actually thought that. And then that's miraculous to me, because I don't know that I would have taken anything from Halloween Ends and said, okay, I want to do this with my movie. But I mean, kudos where kudos is due.
Yeah, it was actually great casting. It worked superlatively.
Yeah, the casting all around is pretty good here. I mean, again, Ruby Modine, I mean, great. I mean, she convincingly portrays an archetype of a woman that actually kind of hits close to home.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we've all known a chick like that. Like you said that you've dated a few, so.
We're both from a small town, so.
There's a lot of women like that in small towns. I hate to say it. Lots of people like that in general in small towns, but.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. But
and then there is her ex-lover cop boyfriend who, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Yeah. I hated that guy from the beginning.
Yeah, and he also, he's a cop, so I mean he's naturally an antagonist to Billy there.
Exactly.
So,
I mean,
yeah, he's more the actual antagonist. Him and the kid snatcher, he plays more of an antagonist role in a personal way.
Let me fix that for you. He's a cop, so naturally he's an antagonist to everyone.
To everyone. He's a cop, so he's an antagonist to everybody.
True.
And he plays that, and the actor who plays that role, I mean, he played it well. He played it well. He was kind of creepy. It's like you had a similar character in Halloween Ends, even.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. But I mean, it's played a little differently here.
Yeah. Dude, this movie does so many things better than
I know this is a better Halloween Ends than Halloween Ends.
Just the Halloween franchise in general. It's like, it's like, how do you take something like hokey, like, okay, you remember Evil Dies Tonight? That was so hokey and it wasn't meant to be. Then you take something like Naughty, and that's actually delivered in a way in this movie that's not cheesy.
No,
it works.
No, it absolutely works, and it works within the context of Billy's character, and Rowan Campbell actually delivers it rather well.
Naughty. But all right, I guess we'll wrap things up here. Again, it's hard to talk about this movie without getting too much into it. What's interesting is that the promotional material and trailers for this showed off, some of the iconic kill scenes, but obfuscated so much of what makes this film different. And honestly, we've kind of talked at length about it, but I hope that somebody is listening to this and is like, let me go check out the new Silent Night, Deadly Night. If you can help it, don't watch the trailer. Just go straight into this movie and just experience it. Yeah, I actually didn't watch the trailer before. Neither did I. I never watched the trailer or any teaser before this came out. So, yeah. Come into this blind if you can. But what are your final thoughts on Silent Night, Deadly Night 2025? I like what they did with the Billy character. I like the relationship between Billy and Pammy. I thought that there was actually some decent cinematography in this movie. And the editing was actually not too jarring or anything. It's like,
I mean, there's parts of it that are creepy, but parts of it that are actually kind of weirdly wholesome. And you actually kind of root for these characters a little bit. You root for Billy.
You do.
You know, in this one, which I think is a little bit of an achievement for the script and everything. So, but yeah, I liked this movie. I did. I did not expect to like it as much as I did.
I know.
You know, I mean, it's way better than I really thought it was going to be. And I mean, it's like I said, it's a way better Halloween Ends than Halloween Ends. So yeah, definitely go check this movie out. I'm a little more emphatic on this one. You know, it's like this is one that you should not miss.
Definitely. Yeah, I would wholeheartedly recommend this as a Christmas slasher to anyone that's looking for something like that. This may end up becoming part of my Christmas repertoire now because it's good. I like it. It's right up there with the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm just surprised how little I'm seeing about this because I mean, what an original take on a franchise that could have used it. Honestly, I mean, this is honestly like this is kind of should be used as an example of how you do a slasher remake. It was so much better than it had business being, and I really enjoyed it. Fresh while just remaining true to the essence of the original, right down to even the basic premise. So. Go check out Silent Night, Deadly Night in theaters if you can. If you want to wait for it to come out on digital or DVD or streaming, I don't know if it's going to be streaming anywhere, but this would be a great film to go watch this holiday season if you do have a chance. I know it's only showing at some theaters, but not all. I think it has a limited screening, but it showed up at my local theater that I can walk to. So
yeah, so you could probably find a screen somewhere that's showing it.
Yeah, definitely. Or sail the high seas if you need to.
Oh yeah.
But hell yeah, guys. We hope that you all had a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. We hope you're having a happy holidays. It should be Christmas Day as of the time that we release this. So look forward to the rest of our Bad Movie December content and some more post-holiday content. Collateral Gaming, we should have out our holiday special on A Link to the Past. So if everything goes according to plan, that should be out now the same day as this. Otherwise, it'll be out this week. And also, we should have out part 1 of our Metroid Prime 4 episode, which is our spoiler-free review. Part 2 will be full spoilers. Plan to have that out by the end of December. And then, of course, our post-holiday edition of the bonus round, where we're going to talk about the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit game. We'll have a year-in review episode in January. And Bo, what else is coming up from Collateral Cinema?
Well, by the time that this episode comes out, I will have already put together the Buttercream Gang 2 episode. We're going to try to get Cade the Tortured Crossing out at least before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, and of course, we're also going to have our director's cut special, which, every year we focus on the Adult Swim holiday specials. And this year we're talking about the holiday specials of Smiling Friends and YOLO. So yeah, we're going deep into Michael Cusack and everything like that. So it's like, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And we will also do a year in review in January. And January will be anime month. So we will be talking about Vampire Hunter D, and we will be talking about Boruto. The Boruto movie. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. We're going to have the Retro Anime podcast on the Vampire Hunter D episode.
Nice.
So
nice.
Look for that.
Yeah, as for Collateral Gaming's January content, by the way, we just decided we are doing ARC, Survival Evolved / Survival Ascended. That is... it was Megan's pick, so that's, I think, what we're planning for our 2-part episode in January. But yeah, no, 2025 has been a great year for horror, and I'm excited to get into the year in review episode because, we had quite a few good films this year. I mean, we had Weapons, Sinners, Frankenstein. It was a good year.
Yeah. Shelby Oaks. You had
Shelby Oaks, Good Boy,
Toxic Avenger, of course. Which we reviewed.
Yeah.
Of course.
So yeah, this has been a great year for horror. It's been a great year for gaming in general too.
Oh
God, so many games that I have to talk about on our year in review episode. So many that we've done and are going to do. But and I'm excited to see what 2026 holds for both Collateral cinema and gaming, and for the industries of cinema and gaming. Collateral Let's Play.
Yeah.
We should have out a holiday Let's Play on Chronos: The New Dawn. So go check that out. Also, episode 2 of Metroid Monday will be out by now. And this Saturday, we'll have out the latest episode of Shooter Saturday, which will continue our playthrough of Metroid Prime 4. And then I recorded 3 Metroid Prime 4 Let's Play segments back to back. So that's the end of those. We'll return to Phoenix Wright Wednesday here by, I think, next week.
Yes. Yeah, we should.
So
yeah, and we're doing Turnabout Samurai.
It's too bad that we didn't hit Turnabout Goodbyes by the time December rolled around.
Yeah, we could have had the Almost Christmas meme lined
Christmas.
up.
Yeah, and now it's not going to line up because we're going to be doing that at the beginning of 2026, but whatever.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Expect more Let's Play content in the future. We'll continue our Phoenix Wright Wednesday, Shooter Saturday, and Metroid Monday series. If we feel like it, we may even resurrect Beat 'em Up Friday.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do some Let's Plays on just games that I'm playing for the podcast or otherwise, new games that are coming out. So look forward to all of that. If you want to support our shows, you can do so on our merch store on Dashery. You can get you some Collateral Media swag. We do also have a Patreon and a Buy Me a Coffee. You can find Collateral Cinema and Gaming wherever you get your podcasts, and we're also on social media such as Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and Facebook.
And on social media, right now we're doing our Angry Video Game Nerd annual holiday marathon that we do every December. Mm-hmm. So we post nightly on that. We post the Angry Video Game Nerd playlist featuring everything on there. Join us for that and leave us some comments. Engage with us there. I mean, if you're a fan of Cinemassacre or of retro gaming or the Angry Video Game Nerd, keep a lookout for those posts. I mean, we also every weekend I live tweet watching Toonami. So leave us comments and engage with us on those posts. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a way to stream some of that sometime.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Which would be interesting. So
fuck yeah. So I guess that's just about it. To you and yours, we hope you have a very happy holidays from Collateral Media. And I guess that's it.
Yep.
With all that being said, I've been Santa Gosling.
And I've been Billy.
This has been Garbage Day. We are out.
Naughty. Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.